What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Early Edge. I am your host, Alan Bell. We got a fantastic show lined up for you this Sunday. But before we get to that, let's take a look at how we did yesterday. And let me introduce to you what is called my personal hell. 3 losses by 1 run. My week of just brutalness continues, man. I'll tell you what. But the only way to go through it is to do it. And look at our man Buckets coming through for us. The Buckets Bowman parlay comes through as well. And our man M Squared gets the push on the Yankees team total over 5. So you know what? These boys picked it up for me. But let's bring in the stars of the show. And boys, looking good, man. First off, M Squared, how we doing, sir?
Doing well, AB. Sweating the Wimbledon final here. Beautiful morning here in Nashville. Getting ready for a little day baseball and some night baseball tonight.
There we go, man. I enjoy it. All right, Bowman, how we doing, sir?
Yeah, we're doing good, AB. I still don't know how long it's going to take me to get used to this 12 p.m. Sunday game and then the rest starting at 1:30. But every Sunday morning I wake up and I feel like I realize. But at least we got some day baseball today.
Yeah, you're right. At least we've got that, man. We'll take that. All right, speaking of day baseball today, you know what? First off, M Squared, what do we need to know? Weather across the country. Break it down for us.
Yeah, another quiet day. Not a lot of activity. 3 spots that I've isolated here. Washington on the road at Atlanta, plus 10% home run hitting and run scoring across the board. There could be pop-up storms here. It's pretty much what you get in the summer in Atlanta. Philadelphia, St. Louis, just like yesterday, another rare negative day in the month of July, about minus 15% on home run hitting, minus 10% run scoring across the board. And then Sunday night baseball, Yankees still on the road at Fenway. Going to be about a 15% boost in home run hitting and overall run scoring tonight in Boston.
Man, I'll tell you what, that Yankees-Red Sox game last night was fantastic. I mean, we had some really good games across the board, in Major League Baseball. And Bowman, it was really, kind of how you and M Squared, really broke it down in regards to what we saw all week where just no run scoring. Friday got a little bit better. Saturday got even more better. So break down the bullpen report here. What should we expect and look for today?
Yeah, and Saturdays so far this season in terms of money lines have been the most profitable for underdogs as well. So knowing that, I kind of wish I went about yesterday a little different, but hindsight's always 2020. But we're going to get into the bullpen report today. Wander Franco left yesterday's game early with a hamate injury. This is terrible news. He's expected to be out at least 4 to 6 weeks. Hamate injury is a terrible injury for baseball players. That's very bad for the Rays. Kevin Kiermaier also left with a hip injury. Both of those players will head to the IL. That's a brutal loss for the Rays. Starling Marte and James McCann both left yesterday's game early as well for the Mets. Not sure how big their injuries are, but we'll find out in the coming days or two, especially if they're in the lineup today. Rafael Devers won't play until at least Monday, and Christian Arroyo was added to the IL as well last night. However, for the Red Sox, the good news there is that Chris Sale is expected to make his first start of the season on Tuesday. I have no idea how effective he'll be, but that's a lot better than their spot starters that they've been getting lately. And then Jacob deGrom will make a rehab start at either AAA or AA on Wednesday or Thursday this week. Expect him to be back in the rotation right after the All-Star break.
Yeah, in regards to Chris Sale, I mean, you're right. Like, there's no idea what to expect, when he makes that first return. However, it has to be better than what the Red Sox, have just been doing we actually don't know who's starting tomorrow. We're going to have to figure that out later tonight. But then again, I say that, and the Red Sox win last night. So, hey, what do I know? All right, let's get into our picks for today. But first, before we do, let's take a quick break and hear from one of our sponsors. And we are back. All right, one play today, and I'm going to keep it tri-box here, all right? One play, our man Buckets. And you know, when Corinthians and Flamingo get together, all right, you throw the record books out the window. We're going to go both teams to score there, plus 105, courtesy of our man Buckets. He was on fire yesterday, and you know what? I think he's going to do it again today. All right, so Corinthians, Flamingo, both teams to score, plus 105. All right. Look, I said it yesterday. Mikey, I'm just going to get out of your way, my man. What do you got?
Same play once again. We're going New York Yankees team total over 4.5, minus 120. You can find a minus 115 out there still at WinBet. Love this spot for them once again. It's a rare play for me on Sundays. We've only done it 3 times all year, 3-0. We're going to make it 4-0 today here. The Red Sox, look, the pitching is still depleted. It'll get better for them after this series. They've got Pivetta on the mound, and Pivetta has been okay when you look at actual data. If you know me, I don't care at all about actual data. I care about expected data. His actual weighted on base average, 288, pretty good. Expected number, 336, puts him below Major League Baseball average. Looking at more of the batted ball data, average exit velocity against 91 miles per hour, getting barreled up about 7% of the time. Not a recipe for success against this Yankees lineup, especially in a primetime spot after they got beat last night in a walk-off fashion. Love this spot for the Yankees to bounce back, put the 5th run on the board at some point in this game. Let's go over 4.5, minus 120.
There we go. I love it. Now, our man, Micah Roberts, was supposed to be on the show today. Had a little technical difficulties. All right. Could be my fault. We're not ruling that out. However, we are going to give his play. Orioles money line, minus 105. How many of the Orioles won now? 8 in a row? Is that correct?
I think it's 7.
7? Yeah. The Orioles coming alive. I like it. So, all right, he's going to go Orioles money line at minus 105. All right, Bowman, you're in the maestro spot, buddy. You got one play. Bring us home. What do you got?
Yeah, I was hoping, could I ask Mikey a question first, though? Mike, I was wondering if Sunday night baseball, if that has any effect on how you handicap a game, if it's a night game on Sunday, if you think of it differently.
A little bit. So in this spot, typically the reason I don't bet a lot on Sundays is lineups become massively unpredictable on Sundays. And I do everything on a real individual player level, not on a team level. In this spot, I'm not worried about it because they played last night. It's a night game after a night game. So it's a normal rest situation for them. And such an important game, division rivalry. So if anything, I make it more important. It plays more like a playoff game than a regular Sunday game in June or April or May. So I don't change a ton, but I'm more willing to play and invest in these spots because the lineups are a little more predictable.
I like it. Awesome. Thank you. All right. I'll get into my play now.
I was hoping that you're just going to not give a pick. We just end the show. Just cut it off.
Yeah. Bro. No, I'll go with my play now. So we're going to go Tigers plus 160 versus the White Sox. Michael Kopech has honestly just been terrible lately. He's been allowing multiple walks. He allowed 4 home runs last game. He's been allowing home runs in general. He's allowed 16 earned in his last 21 innings pitched. And all of these starts have come after he had to leave his Rangers start early with an injury. So he could be pitching injured. I'm not ruling that out at all. Drew Hutchinson pitched really well in his most recent spot start, but all we really need for him is to keep it close with this Tigers bullpen. Eloy Jimenez was out yesterday with general soreness. He could be sitting again today, but the Tigers have really just been outplaying the White Sox this series and winning 2 of the first 3 games. I like the value on the Tigers here.
Well, I'll tell you what, I like the value on the Tigers too. And as we pull up, all right, the recap and picks for today, you talk about general soreness. That's what my picks have been causing for the world here, general soreness. But you don't even want to know what I had to go through to break this curse and get this thing out of here. So let's bring in the recap here. Hold on. Do we have Micah pop it in? All right, we'll see. Hold on. Let's bring up the recap here. It looks glorious. M squared team total over 4.5. Micah is on the Orioles money line, minus 105. John Bowman on the Tigers money line, plus 160. Side play, Corinthians, Flamingo, both teams to score, plus 105. The AB pick 3 today. Look, you know what? The only way to go through it is to do it. We're going Braves team total over 5. Diamondbacks team total over 3.5. Brewers team total over 4. And I tell you what, because I feel so good about it. There we go. Michael Roberts, how we doing, sir?
Oh, we're doing awful. This is a horrible start to Sunday morning. The stress level of your computer going out and buffering and spinning. And I apologize for all this, guys. I was ready to have a great morning, Sunday fun bunch here, and just didn't start out that way. But we can keep going. I don't know if we're only, 8 minutes in, right?
Yeah, dude, I was going to say this. First off, don't even worry about that. Look, I took the problem for the show. It's probably on me anyway, so don't even worry about that. Now, we have gone through the show. That being said, break down 2 things for us, okay? First, let's talk a little NASCAR. All right, what do we got going today? Second, we gave your pick out, Orioles. Break it down as well. Floor is yours, my man.
All right, so NASCAR, we're at Atlanta Motor Speedway. This is the second race on the new pave with the 20-degree banking. That's a change from in the past. So what happened in the process is the cars got too fast, so they had to put the super speedway package on like they do at Daytona and Talladega. And what we saw in the first race was probably the best racing of the season we've seen in NASCAR. We had 46 lead changes among 20 drivers. I expect something similar here. The cars are slow. They're all going to be bunched together. That means anybody has a chance to win legitimately. William Byron won the first one, but we saw Ross Chastain do well. Daniel Suarez do well. Who else? Elliott do well. I'm looking for those guys again. Chase Elliott 10-1, Byron 11-1, Chastain 12-1, and then take a few long shots here. I got 8 drivers bet today, including Daniel Suarez at 20-1. Brad Keselowski, only 2 top 10s on the entire season. And he had amazing Daytona 500. He led the most laps there. I'm using some of that because this is a package that suits that team well. And also Austin Dillon, he finished second in that Atlanta race. So he's 40-1. So those guys are what I'm looking at here. I think it's going to be an outstanding race, albeit the rain. I think it's like a 40 to 50% chance of rain today. So that's no surprise what we've seen annually at Atlanta over the years. As far as the Baltimore Orioles, I think we got a spot here where we're going to see the bullpens in action, and that's bad news for the Angels. The Baltimore Orioles have one of the better bullpens, and I'm sorry I missed Bowman's bullpen report, but Baltimore, especially the last week in their 7-game win streak, has been amazing at home on the season. Their bullpen 2.41 ERA, that's pretty good, and basically the 7-game win streak they have going that's active has made them, let's see, they're 19.5 out of first place, but they're only 3 games back of the last wild card spot. And I think that's a lot for these guys to bond with. The hitting is there, the bullpen's there, the starting pitching, the young kids are getting motivated each time out, and there's a little game they play each day within themselves and within the locker room that keeps them going. So this is a fun team right now. This is where it starts in July to carry momentum in the second half of the season. And I really like what Baltimore's doing. It's probably my most fun story of the season so far, and I've been waiting for something like this to happen. And not to take anything away from the Mariners either, they're doing some great stuff there. I didn't see a price on that yet, but I'm looking for Logan Gilbert to get the win there. So you got 2 teams with 7-game win streaks going that I think are really good and active today, even though Sunday all kinds of crazy stuff happens. But I think the streaks continue, and we got a couple other streaks. Dodgers 6-game win streak, the Phillies 3-game win streak. Texas playing a Minnesota team that has a 3-game losing streak, and the Cincinnati Reds. I mean, they're doing some great stuff against the Rays, 3-game win streak. So why not keep it going?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, and I say that because what you just said, like, we've got streaks that are going. But first, the Mariners, the Orioles, it's amazing what happens when you're having fun. Yeah. Right? Like, I know that that's not the only thing, but it's a pretty big thing, man. Like, and the Orioles, they're a really just fun team to watch, man. Like, I'm 100% with you on that. Now, going back real quick to what you were talking about in NASCAR, all right, the race today in Atlanta, our man Trent Wade came through and pretty much laid out his picks of exactly what you just said. Like William Byron over Martin Truex Jr. -120, and William Byron top 10 -125. It sounds like, through your breakdown of it, you like Byron a lot.
Yeah, he's feeling it. I think he's going to be just as good as he was. All the Hendrick cards. And the thing about Kyle Larson, he still only has that one win from, I think it was the 4th race of the year at Fontana. This is a guy that won 10 races last year, and this just has never been his style. He doesn't have any wins with the super speedway package. So I think you're going to see all the Hendrick cars do well. Larson, he'll be up there for a while, but something always happens in the close, tight confines and the pack formations where Larson's just doesn't do well. And that's been his entire career, even with great cars.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Before we go, M squared, where do we sit right here? Wimbledon final.
It's a really important part of the match here. Kyrgios up 1 set. Djokovic is up a break, but he's really struggling to close out the service game for the second set. We're at deuce.
Nice. Dude, I feel like I wish we could just do this for like an hour. You know what I mean? Like, just sit here and just like break down scores.
Talk them all. I mean, Jose Abreu, if you're looking for over, under, dude, on props, total bases, this guy's going over every day. 24 hits in the last 14 days. Luis Reyes from Minnesota, he is killing the ball. These guys are going over their props daily, And yeah, it's just all you got to do is look and see how they've done the last week or 2 weeks and just play it, regardless of who's pitching.
I'll tell you this. Last night, all right, going to the Dodgers-Cubs game, Clayton Kershaw's strikeout prop was over under 6.5, right? I could not understand it. I think he ended with 10, and it was like a game where they projected that the under would hit, which it did. And I was like, I was looking at it, and it felt like a trap. I was like, Kershaw generally goes deep into games. They're expected to be an under. It's not like the Cubs have been putting up 12 runs. You know what I mean? Like that they would knock Kershaw out early. He had 5 strikeouts by the second inning. He struck the entire first inning out.
Yeah. What I've noticed on these props, they're done by robots. They're not actual human minds like Bowman or myself or you or Mike Square. Yeah. It's done by robots, and they're just looking at it, and I don't think they're putting a 7 or 2 week span into the equation. I think they're looking on the whole season. I don't know the exact thing, but to me, if I'm getting better odds the next day with the worst pitcher and the same thing happened 2 days in a row, why is the price higher? It baffles me. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just going to play it. But it's not the same kind of methodology that we've been used to in the booking business.
That makes a lot more sense, because I was looking at it, I was like, what in the world? And then, of course, it was like one batter in. I was like, oh, why didn't we take this? Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, before we go, and not everybody has to have an answer on this, but were there any picks that you were pretty close to pulling the trigger on, didn't do it, but you looked at it, you're like, I don't know. Any thoughts there on any sport from anybody?
Yesterday, Mariners, 100%. I'm pretty sure Micah was on them. I wanted to ride Orioles and Mariners yesterday, and for whatever reason, played Orioles early and didn't play Mariners. But I completely agree with everything Mike has been saying about those two teams and riding their hot streaks.
Yeah. Like they legit, like they're having fun. Like we talk about college baseball all the time. Like it feels like one of those where you could see it in the dugout. You know what I mean? Like even the Red Sox, they do it. Like when somebody hits a bomb, right? Like the camera goes right to it. They're just, moving somebody right through it. Mike, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Yeah, no, the thing about the Blue Jays right now, they are in a crazy funk hitting. I mean, they got all these second-generation stars on that team that have completely all together collectively fallen flat. They've scored 3 runs or less their last 8 games, I believe, only winning one of those. And it's just one of those things. It's a baseball thing. It's a midsummer slump at the worst possible time for this team. And they're struggling. So I think, going against somebody like Logan Gilbert's having a career year and heading into the All-Star break, I think this is a good spot for the Mariners today, where in the past we've been playing the Mariners just because they're winning or they've got a good vibe going or whatever. And now you got Santana hitting home runs. I mean, come on, this team has everything hitting for them.
All right. So, okay, here's a question. Are the Cardinals going to get it back together? You talk about teams that aren't hitting, right? Like, the Rays are another team that have not been hitting well. Like beyond, if they didn't have that kind of explosive 8th inning, really, like they haven't been hitting at all. But what about the St. Louis Cardinals? Are we going to see them come out of that kind of hitting slump? I know the Phillies have been playing well, but
yes. Short answer, yes, they will. I still think they'll make the playoffs, honestly. The Cardinals have really just had a couple injuries. They've been starting a lot of backups lately. Their lineup, I mean, they're also obviously not hitting. In terms of the Rays, they just lost Franco and Kiermaier. That is massive for them. I could honestly see them to start or keep slumping. The Cardinals, though, they will get it back.
Yeah, anytime you got Arenado or Goldschmidt, and then, Donovan and these guys, they've been hitting so well all season. They're just in a little slump. I mean, I'm a little scared to play them today because, the Phillies, that for some reason, their pitching staff, their bullpen has been lights out. But, Goldschmidt's going to he's a horse. He's going to lead some team to victories real soon. So I'm not betting him today, but he's going to keep hitting.
Oh, I feel you. I wouldn't be betting him either. I looked at it and I was like, I just can't trust it. Because I'd be so, like the same thing we just said about Kershaw. Like I would be so mad if, I'm like, all right, today's the day. The Cardinals are pulling out. 4th inning, they've got 1 hit, and you're like, what in the world? Like, why did I bet this at all? And I'll say this before we go. The Braves bullpen, all right, really angered me last night. I never get upset about lost bets. Like, we play so many of them, like, throughout a year. Like, dude, whatever. We lost a bet. Like, I'm going to play 3 tomorrow, and I'm going to play 21 the next week, whatever, right? But it's 4-2 going into the 8th. The Nationals have done nothing. They're on Ambien at the plate, right? Like just not hitting anything. Well, here comes old Will Smith, gives up a couple. Well, I can't fully blame him. He came into the situation, but he didn't help the situation. So they ended up giving a run, in the top of the 8th. Of course, now I've got Braves minus 1.5. It's too late for the Braves to do anything because I'm not getting a bottom of the 9th, right? So I'm like, great. Now I've got 3 outs now where I have to cover this bet that has been covered for 6 innings. I was furious last night, and I never get upset about bets, but dude. And all my friends are like, they're all Braves fans, like being here in the Southeast. They're really like kind of the only team,
That's a team you can't bet against. No, they're playing too well. They're hitting too well. Swanson is killing the ball every single day. Austin Riley over the last 2 weeks is batting .408, slugging the hell out of the ball. So betting against that team is just not a good idea right now. Yeah,
no, I feel you. Like, and I took their team total today over 5. Right, I 100% agree with you, man. Like they're just hitting the ball really well, and Bowman, like what we've talked about, throughout the week, like the Braves. I felt like for 2 weeks straight hit nothing but like all their RBIs with 2 outs, like every single time, And now they're actually starting to hit with 1 out and no outs. So yeah, man, they're dangerous.
Last thing, Alan, the Orioles game, I believe it's an early start. I think it's a 9 o'clock Pacific time start.
Oh wow.
Early games, so
it's a super early one. Yeah, so everybody make sure to get that. All right, we'll wrap it up, man. Let everybody get to it. Poor Mike's sitting over here sweating the hell out of tennis, and I'm just yapping about whatever. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. We'll be back live Monday morning, normal time, 10 a.m. Eastern. But until then, everybody, thank you so much. As always, let's cash these bets. Best of luck. See you tomorrow.